welcome back to my channel. Today we are going to be learning how to spin using the long draw technique. Now I've showed you before how to spin if you are spinning a worsted spun yarn. That is when you want to compress all of the air out of your yarn that you're spinning. So basically all of the yarn fibers are laying this way, okay? And you're just going to compress all of the air out of them. It's going to be a straight, the fibers are all straight together like this. When you're spinning a worsted preparation, the fibers are all kind of jumbled together like this, okay? And there are pockets of air that you want to preserve between the fibers. So you've got everything just kind of loosely jumbled together like this. And that's where spinning with a roll-ag comes in. So what I've got set up here is I have my Echo set up, and I've started spinning this roll-ag a little bit to get us started. And what I'm going to show you how to do is just spin the long draw technique. Now, just a word here. I don't know if you can see, this is a very thin spin that I'm doing. Let me get this camera a little closer. I want to make sure when you're doing the long draw, you really you can pull it out as far as you want to. So I want to make sure you can see all of my hand motions here. But as you'll see, my spinning is pretty thin right here. And normally I wouldn't use my Echo for that, but I've got my Matchless involved in something else that I'm doing. So it just shows you the versatility of the Echo spinning wheel. You really can spin anything on this wheel. So there's my little shout out to Spinolution and their spinning wheels. So let's get started. So what you basically want to do, if I were spinning this the way I normally would, I would keep my hands close together like this, and I would not allow any twist to come behind this hand, okay? This hand would be like sort of guarding the door, basically, not letting any twist travel beyond this and into my fiber supply. What I'm going to do, then I would just inch forward like this and then let the twist travel up, but always making sure that the twist stays in front of this hand. Doing the long draw spin, you want the twist to enter into your fiber supply. The twist is basically going to choose the fibers to spin. So I still have my hand up here. It's acting as sort of quality control, but I'm holding it very loosely, and I'm letting the twist go into my fiber supply. You see right here? The twist that has built up along here is what's pulling the fibers forward. And you'll see it's still keeping a nice thin, a nice thin spin here. Oh, sorry, someone's walking a dog. But you're basically going to let the twist enter into your fiber supply. Basically what I have to do with this front hand is make sure that I am picking up enough fibers, because what I've found is that I tend to let everything get a little too thin. So I'm still letting the twist go into my fiber supply, and I'm going to take off so it doesn't pull in the fiber quite as quickly. You might want to do that to allow the twist to build up and come back here. That way it's not pulling the fiber out of your hands. But we're still letting the twist go in here, and then you can feed it onto your wheel. So basically, again, what I'm doing is I'm letting the twist, see, I could spin without having this hand in the front at all, but I don't spin long draw very often, truthfully, and so it's a learning process for me too. I'm going to take a little more off here so it's not pulling the yarn as much. There we go. And here we are. See, we're pulling out this nice, and you can tell it's going in front of my hand because you can see this thin part where I have let the twist go back into my fiber supply. I'm just going to let that build up. And what I'm doing with this hand here is just very loosely holding the Rolag. You see, I could let it go completely and just do it this way. But what happens when I do that is I get sections that aren't quite as uniform. Let me show you this. And normally I don't care. I like my yarn to be a little bit less uniform, but this was just, that's too thick for me, for this yarn. So what I do is I keep this hand in front so that it acts as kind of quality control. Now it's not a big deal if you get a real thick spot like this. You can just go back and draft it out, spin again, let the spin get in here, or the twist get in here, and it'll settle down. So you see that? But here, let me show you that again. Long draw is basically you're letting the twist enter your fiber supply. So you are not stopping it the way you do with the sort of inching forward, short forward draw. Okay? And that's basically all there is to it. The things you want to be sure of when you're doing long draw is you want to make sure that you're not holding on too tightly with either hand. This hand, if you're holding on too tightly with your fiber supply, it gets all knotted up and it won't smoothly flow forward. This hand, if you get too tight with it, then your twist, you don't get those lovely pockets of air that we were talking about in the beginning. Now look, this is too much for me. It's in the fiber supply, but it's too much. So I'm going to go through with my quality control hand, and I'm just going to go through like that. And now we're back in business here. So this is basically long draw. It takes a little bit of practice because you really, if you're like me, you hesitate to let that twist go into your fiber. But it's okay. What it makes is a nice, beautiful, lofty yarn. See, I'm going to let it go through, letting it go, letting it spin, and then letting it go forward onto the wheel. So we're doing the same here. I'm going to let it go, gently pulling back and letting it go on the wheel. So that's basically, you're just letting the twist do the work for you. And that's why Rolags are great for spinning long draw, because they're already prepared easily for you. Now you see, here's a thicker spot that I don't particularly like, but it's okay. I'm not going to worry about that. But this is how you do long draw. It's just very simple. You're letting the twist go in and you're holding everything loosely. This one was too much, too thick for me. So I'm going to pull back a little bit on that. So just remember, hold on loosely, let the twist enter your fiber supply, pull back, and then let it go forward. So that's basically it. Just hold on loosely and let the twist enter into your fiber supply and let the twist do the work for you. So until next time, I'm Stephanie Nipper. Please like and subscribe.